In this video, we are going to solve a problem named house robber. In this question, they have given an array and a robber need to maximize the amount he can rob. There is only one condition. We cannot rob two continuous elements. That is, we cannot select 1, 2 or 2, 3 or 3, 1. So we need to avoid robbing two continuous houses and we need to maximize the robbing value. So consider this example where they have given array which is 1, 2 and 3, 1. We can choose to rob 1. If we start 1, if we rob 1, then we cannot rob 2. So 1 and 3. So total will become 4. If we don't choose to rob 1, then we will start with 2 and then we cannot rob 3 and we can rob 1. Either we can rob 1 and 3 or 2 and 1. So the total amount is maximum amount we can rob is 4 because if we start with 1 we can rob 1, this one and 3, this 3. So this is the problem that they have given and we need to write a solution for this. As you can see here, this problem is kind of recursive structure. So we need to come up with a basic recursion and then we can try to optimize the solution. So we will write a helper function named robber where we will return this thing, return robber, and we will pass the array. Okay, just the array is enough. And we will write function for we will implement the robber function. So it will take nums. And one more thing we need here because we don't know where to start. So we can say this is some current house. So here we are just calling this function. So we will declare these things here so that we can modify that function arguments. So we need current house. So if our current house, whatever it is given, it exceeds the number of houses. If it exceeds the length of the nums, it means we are not at a valid index. So we cannot rob anything, we will return 0. So otherwise, we have two choices at a current house. So we can rob the current house and if we choose to rob the current house, we cannot rob the next house. So that is one condition. And another condition, we will skip this house and we will rob the next house. So we need to choose the max between those two values. So if we choose to rob the current house, then what will become? So either we have to choose this thing or if we choose to rob the current house, then we will take nums of current house and we will choose to rob the current house plus 2. Because if we choose to rob the current house and then we cannot rob the current house plus 1, so we will choose the current house. And one more option we have here is we need to choose between this option. Either we are going to rob this one or we have one more option, that is we can skip this house and we will rob the next house which is current house plus 1. So at every position we have these two options and we need to choose the max between these two things. So yes, and here we should also, what we are missing here, mm, okay, we need to pass. So for every robber function we need to pass the nums also because we need to check whether we are at the correct index or okay. we have only two options at every point. Either we can rob the current house and we can choose to rob the current next houses from the current plus 2 position, or we can skip the current house and we can choose to rob from the next house which is next to the current. So we will run this solution. So we'll start with 0. So we'll run this solution and let's see if it works. So it is saying, okay, here we are. Okay, here it is. We have made a mistake here because either we will choose robber. Okay, here we should have pass names because we have two options. One is this one. We are robbing the current house and we are trying to rob from the. We are skipping the next current plus one and we are start from the current plus two. So we'll run the solution and see if it passes initial test cases. Okay, okay. Here we need to made a mistake while calling these functions. Okay, now it looks good. Okay, there is some indentation issue. Let us fix that and let's see if all the brackets are proper. So we are going to choose max between these two things and this is not needed, I guess. Okay. Okay, we have two options. One either is robbing the current house and start robbing from the current plus two, or we can start robbing from the next house. So let's see. Okay, first two test cases are passing, and let us submit this recursive solution and let's see if the recursion basic solution works. So we got time limit exceeded. That means logic is correct, but as you can see here, so if you write the function calls starting from the 0, you will see a lot of repeated calls for a particular current house. So what we can do is we can memorize this solution where we will take one more argument named rob value, which will be a dictionary. So initially it will be an empty dictionary. So we will check whether our current house is in our dictionary. So if current house rob value is present in our dictionary, we will just return that value. So rob value of current house, or we will store this value in the dictionary and we will return the same thing. So we can say rob value of current house will be equals to this, and we'll return the rob value of current house. Okay, let us run this solution. Let's see if initial test cases are passing. So, okay, it is saying number of arguments are not matching because we have added one more argument for this function, which is a dictionary. So we need to pass the dictionary along with every function call. That's it. So here we have only two arguments. Okay, let's see if it passes the initial test cases. Oh yes, initial test cases are passing, and let us submit this solution and see if it passes all the test cases. Yes, it is passing all the test cases. And as you can see here, this is the solution that we have written. So solution is quite straightforward, where at each house we have only two options. Either we can rob the current house and start robbing from the current plus two, or we can skip the current house and we can start robbing from the current house plus one. So this will result in a lot of repeated calls. So we are going to store the result in a dictionary, and if our current house is present in the current rob value, we are just returning. Otherwise, we are going to store these answers in the dictionary and we are going to return that value. I hope you like this video. If you want to see more videos like this, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching this video.